Hello and welcome to another episode of No Answers Yet. I'm Trey.
It's your boy Kiko.
We got English on the knobs and Terry behind us as always. Um, so today we're going to talk about a kind of change in our direction for what our episodes are. So we're going to let Kiko take that away.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna try to stick to one or two topics just to make it more simple and really dive into the things we talk about, so it don't seem like we're all over the place, and kind of really talk about our passions and like why we're doing this for a reason and what the reason is and having a purpose for it, basically. So we're looking forward to it, and hope you guys enjoy it. How's everyone week's going so far? Trey,
Pretty good.
pretty good.
Got some new hires in and they're doing really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do.
Very nice. Give you some time off because you work so much.
Yeah.
This guy's a hard worker, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's always working.
He's a tired worker.
Tired worker. Tyler, how about you, sir? How's your week going?
Well, I moved into my new place.
Oh,
finally,
congratulations. Very nice. How does it feel
Thank
to
you.
be on your own?
So it's interesting. It's different. I had to
Yeah.
go grocery shopping for myself.
How did that go?
Took a little bit to figure everything was.
Yeah.
And then, hurt having to spend the money.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cheaper than going out to eat every
That's
time.
that's
So,
true.
but-
That is very true.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, congratulations again, sir.
Thank you.
Glad you enjoy living. You'll have to invite us over sometime.
I mean, possibly. Kitchen still needs to be painted, so if you guys want to help out, let me know.
I don't. Not even a little bit.
Wow.
Um,
But you know a guy.
I do know a guy.
You know a
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, I will help. I just don't want to.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's just one of those, like, you,
One of those
you have to know that my heart's not going to be in it.
Aww,
As long as you show up, though. I mean,
there's
You-
a love.
that's all that Kiko did was when he helped me paint
Mhm.
the rest of the house. He showed up. Ashley did all the work, so.
No. No.
Moral support.
I did help. I painted like half the wall in his bedroom, and then I painted like half his living room.
How small is that wall?
It's pretty small.
I still did some work though. I still put that work in.
That
We-
support
he
sounds
was there
pretty.
for like,
That's,
4 hours or so.
That support sounds pretty moral.
Yeah.
I tried, guys. Okay, painting's not my thing, you know.
It's also not mine, so I don't know why I'm making fun of you.
Yeah, I'm not sure why you're doing that to me.
I really would. I would get there and I would, I would offer to hold the brushes for you guys whenever you're not
Would you
actively using them.
would you dip the brushes in the paint for us?
No, that's a lot. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
know about
that's-
It was
that.
that's too
asking a
much.
lot.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a little much. But no, not much of a painter. It's because I don't. There's the requirement of multiple coats.
Not if you get the right paint.
There's if you are cheap like me, there's the requirement to have multiple coats, and
Are you cheap?
the OCD in me. For necessary things, I
Okay,
am.
okay.
All the
'Cause, you
things
know-
in life that you need to survive. Yes, I'm very cheap. It's kind of
Okay.
backwards. from
My
what it
man
should
over
be.
here be rolling around with Gucci shoes on. He's got a
Yeah.
Gucci watch band, got Gucci glasses. So
Again, I don't have very good priorities. So
hey, it's okay.
yeah.
You're always styling, so that's a big plus.
Yeah, I'll be styling in a box on the side of the road. so
As
Hey.
long as you got those Gucci's.
I'm gonna let you
Exactly.
know. I'm not gonna let that happen to you,
thanks, man.
Tyler. You got an extra room for him too, right? That ever would happen.
As long as he can afford it.
We got your back.
I feel like he's my last resort. I feel like whenever I get rich, that's when I'll go to
200.
him.
That's I'm firm on that price.
That's a
He is firm
lot
on
of money.
For a room, that's a good deal.
Well, my week's been good. Thanks, guys, for asking. Appreciate it. I
How's
feel
your
the
week,
love.
Chico?
My week's been good. Busy, just working. Our basement's completely done. Shout out to my contractor, Mr. Walter, Mr. Palazzo Construction. His crew did a fine job, by the way. It's beautiful down there. I'll have to show you down there. I'll take you down there.
It's creepy.
I mean, if you want to come
Please
to my
don't
basement,
show me your basement.
why not? It's a nice
Don't
basement.
show me your basement.
Dude,
and
it
talk
doesn't
about
even-
showing me your
it
basement.
doesn't even
while
look like a
kind of
basement.
Winking a little bit. I don't like that twinkle in your eye.
I'm sorry. That's just how I roll. I get that twinkle in my eye. You know?
Maybe don't admit to that. I don't care.
Okay. Sorry. Wow. You guys are just picking on me as usual.
Anyway,
Is it because okay?
is it what? Is it because what?
Is
Probably yes, but is it what?
It's because I just. Oh, I hate to use the word easy, but is it because I just look so easy, or should I, like?
It Exactly.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right. So, speaking of 1 to 2 topics,
Okay.
we're going to do that now. What is our 1 to 2 topic for this episode?
So I think we should go back to the beginning, excuse me, and like why we are doing this, and kind of like let the beautiful people out there listening to us, like there's a reason why we're all doing this, why we decided to come together and do this, because we all love each other, we all care for each other, and we all want to try to make this world a better place. And I feel like if we can help someone and they listen to us goofy guys talking, have a good time, and sharing our thoughts and our opinions about life, then that can be a beautiful thing. And people can really enjoy us and get to know us on camera, and hopefully one day meet us, maybe, if we make it that big, that would be nice, but we'll see. But I know, like, I love all two of you guys. We're all like three guys from different backgrounds, and I think like that's one of the greatest things about us is we all have different beliefs, but at the end of the day it doesn't matter, because when it comes down to it, it's we all love each other and we support each other, and we're all there for each other. And I think that's like what this world needs right now. It's not what you believe in and what's the color of your skin. It's like it's what's inside that counts, and seeing someone for that, not for what they believe in, for what their color is. It's just about love, to love that person for who they are. And I feel like that's so special about us three, and I think that's so awesome. So yeah, what's your thoughts about that?
Well, I think for the people at home that don't know us very well, we should probably talk about what those differences are.
Yeah.
So backgrounds is going to be, I'm from Alabama, obviously. I don't know about obviously, I don't have an accent, but then we have, you guys are both from here?
I was born out of California.
I didn't know that.
Really? I thought no, really? Yeah,
When did you move here?
when I was a little baby.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
And you were born up here in what, like,
Cambridge.
okay.
So just right outside of Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Watertown's right outside of Boston too.
Yeah.
So, and then our beliefs are different. You're Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not atheist, but I'm pretty agnostic at this point. Like, I don't really know how to feel about any of it. And then you're,
I've always been a more believe it when I see it kind of guy. So,
okay.
yeah.
So we're pretty much in the same boat at
Yeah.
this point. But I have a heavy Christian background. Like, I'm from the South, and so I grew up as a Christian.
So you went to church every Sunday and
Yeah, as
things
a
like
kid.
that? Okay.
And it wasn't really until I had a pretty significant breakup in my life that I realized that I was being a Christian for other people.
And not for the sake of you.
Right, and that's one of the. I was always a questioner, in school or in Sunday school, and like I would always go like, so if this is how it is, then why this? And for the most part, a lot of the youth groups would be like, oh, well, that's a great question, and whatever. And one of the best youth pastors I ever had was his name was Jeff, and he
Great name, by the way.
yeah, I agree. And he actually was like, you know what? I don't know the answer. I'm going to look that up for you. And then, like, I went home, and he actually called me at home and was like, so here's what I found on that. Like, he admitted to not knowing, and then he found out for me. Like, it was I loved that. But then he left, and we got another guy, and I won't say his name because I didn't like him so much.
Okay.
And he once told me, after asking a question, that I was on thin ice.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you were asking a
I
question?
was asking a question about the Bible.
But that's how you learn, though.
Exactly.
That's how you educate yourself. You don't ask
He
questions.
didn't know, and he was defensive about it, and so he said,
Ah.
"You're on thin ice, man." And I was like,
So he was a new youth pastor?
"Yeah."
Okay.
And
yeah.
he replaced Jeff, and then the next lesson he had, because that was in like guys group, we would have like a small Bible study.
Yeah.
That was like 4 or 5 other guys in the room, and then the next time we had like a youth group,
Mm-hmm.
there was like 100 of us in there. I like raised he did a lesson on angels and demons, which was very much in reference to the movie that had just come out at the time.
Okay, I remember that movie. That's a long time
So he was
ago.
talking about how like angels like looked a certain way and demons looked a certain way, and it's like angels are really the only ones that are described in the Bible. Like
Right.
demons, like, and he had like pictures of like demons, like these like devil creatures, and I was like, those are paintings from people. They don't know what they look like, and he was like describing them in fact. And it's like he's just acting. He was very much drawing inspiration from this film. And I'm a movie person.
You are.
But
you know
like,
your movies
also,
very well.
right? But also, like, if you're talking about biblical stuff, like, don't be spouting facts if that's not where you got it. I feel like that's dangerous. So I like raised my hand to ask a question, and he ignored me and like answered other people's questions. And finally answered me because I had had my hand up for enough time, and he was like, "What?" And
Wow.
yeah, and I asked my question. I can't remember what it was. It was relevant though.
Yeah.
And he did not answer, and then I like asked another guy like for what his question was, and I just walked out and never went back.
So you think he played a role
No,
of what?
no. That
No?
was just showing kind of like the differences in people inside of organized religion. Like there are some people who admit willingly that I don't know, but this is why we learn, and I respect those people. And then there's people who get very, very defensive. And but anyway, but I grew up as a Christian, and I realized, as I said, like I was always a questioner.
Yeah.
And there's this one verse, and it was like that God like respects hot and cold, but he hates lukewarm. Like he'd basically rather you be like super duper Christian or an atheist. But like whenever you're basically like going to church every Sunday and not acting like a Christian at all, like he hates that crap. And I was like, that's what I'm doing a little bit. And so I was like, so I'm probably not a Christian then. So I just stopped.
Would you ever want to look into different religions or
Yeah, well,
kind
I find other religions interesting. Absolutely. At this point in my life, I think, I don't know if it was because I was kind of indoctrinated, for lack of a better word, but like I feel like something's there. It's hard for me to kind of being
Describe
raised
it?
Christian. It's hard being raised Christian. It's hard to just stop believing that there's this thing up there.
right?
So I do feel, which is why I say I'm agnostic. An atheist is fully like
Right, didn't believe in nothing.
anti-religion,
Yeah.
basically. So
So you
I
believe in a
feel like
higher
there's
power?
something there. I just don't feel it enough to be involved in organized religion.
I got
And
you.
other religions are interesting to me. I find them fascinating, but like, and I respect them for what they are. You can, believe what you want, but and I think they hold just as much value as Christianity. I don't think it's fair when people are like,
I'll put down for their beliefs.
exactly.
And yeah.
And so I fully respect people's beliefs. I
Oh,
just
I know.
don't really believe anything myself at this point. And so, yeah, and I don't know if that's ever going to change. I don't know if I'm open to the idea. Like if I ever like saw some,
Proof?
yeah, it's one of the early ones I said when I was a child in Bible school was I thought it was not fair that we had been born in a time where we were required to just fully accept this stuff as written with no proof. Whereas people who were born in biblical times, they got to see him turning water into wine. They got to see him make, they got to see these miracles with their
Bring
own
back
eyes.
people from the dead.
Right. They got to
Yeah.
see this stuff. I was like, if I was born back then and I saw that stuff, I'd be like, yeah,
I believe. I'm a
okay,
believer
great.
right now.
So it's not fair at all that like the same consequences for not being a Christian, going to hell, apply now, and we have less resources. I can't, this Jesus guy over in Nazareth is doing all this crap. I'm gonna go see, Whereas now it's like this Jesus guy was doing some crazy stuff in Nazareth way back when, and a bunch of people say it's bull, and a bunch of people say it's fact. Which one do you believe? If you pick the wrong one, you're going to hell. It's like, that's not fair to me. And so I hated that idea too, because it really, like, the idea of faith, I think, is important in life in general, but also just the fact that, like, I don't know, I think the disparity there, like, I don't get to see any proof myself, whereas they got to. And there were people back there in the Bible who were still like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, you just saw him do this miracle. And you're still like, no. Which is probably his point. Like, even when people see the proof, they don't follow it. But
Yeah, I think a lot of the issues in religion right now is like with people who are like hardcore in their religion, and they say like, if you don't do this and you don't do that, then you're going to hell. And it's like, you want to look at them and be like, you know what? You're not God, so don't tell me if I'm going to heaven or hell or not, because that is not your place to judge as a person. Only God Almighty can judge. And at the end of the day, I'm not perfect, but I was put on this earth for a reason, and I plan on being the best person I can be. And when I make mistakes and I screw up, hey, I screwed up, owning up to that, learning from it, and every day, learn something new about yourself and improve yourself every day. It's not about being a perfect person. It's about improving yourself, improving people who are around you who want to better themselves. It's not about if I'm going to heaven or hell. That's not how I live my life. I don't wake up every day, am I going to go to hell? Am I going to go to heaven? I wake up every day knowing I'm thankful for another day. I'm thankful, to still be here. And what can I do to improve myself, to make myself a better person? Not if I'm going to heaven or hell.
Yeah, and I also think that fear is a crappy motivator. Like, I think, scaring people, like kids especially, like, and again, I go back to what I said about those two youth pastors who were just so different.
Yeah.
And they kind of represented the two different sides of it to me. Like, really were. And like, I went to a bunch of different churches as a kid, and like, I saw the different sides of it. And there were some who would go with the, you got to do this or you're going to hell.
Yeah.
And there are other ones who were like, love, and they focused on the love stuff. And they would kind of like, they would try to avoid talking about the wrath.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other ones were doing the opposite. They didn't really focus too much on the love. They were just like anger, rage. Like, have you seen the kind of stuff that he did back in the day, like in the Old Testament? Oh, it's crazy. Pillars of fire. And it was like,
For
this
a
is the
kid,
same
I
guy.
feel like that can be scary.
Yeah, and it was
'Cause,
like, but also like, if you're just trying to scare kids into believing what you believe, I think you're kind of not a
because
good
at the end of the
person.
day, you're not teaching them, you're scaring them,
Right,
and,
and,
and
like-
they're gonna run away from this because you're not helping them grow as a person or
Right.
bringing the best out of them. You're just putting fear into their eyes, and then they live a fearful life for the rest of their life because they're like, oh, this guy told me if I did this, then
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna happen to me, and I can't do this. So they don't. How do you move forward in life if you scare kids? That's
It's also just the idea of like, if you think of it from God's perspective, like if you're a person, which I hope you are, if you're watching this, and somebody is gonna date you, would you rather them date you because they love you and they adore you and they like have all these feelings about you that they like, or would you rather have them date you because they're scared that without dating you, they're gonna end up alone? Same thing. I think it's dumb.
I agree with you, sir.
Like, I mean, I don't think that God's gonna be like super thrilled if you're like, I'm a Christian because I didn't want to go to hell. Good job. So you basically did it out of fear. There's those people who like on the deathbed who are like praying to every single God. And it's like,
Yeah.
nice, you did it, man. Probably avoided hell. So I don't know.
Oh man,
I think that's where I am at this point, where I'm like, religion is saying the other religion's wrong, and I've yet to see proof of either one or any of them really. So yeah,
it's a conversation for another day. We can get into that. I like
yeah,
that.
for sure.
I'm sorry you got to go through that. I really am.
not a big
That,
deal,
that
though.
bothers me because you're a great person, and
It really
don't
was
think-
not at all traumatic. It was just the South.
no, but I just think people like that are just ignorant. It comes down
Yeah.
to just ignorance, and that's like we're the total opposite here at this show. No answer. Like, you show everyone kindness. It doesn't mean you have to always agree with them, but you still show kindness, and you should never put people down when people want to learn and ask questions. If you don't know the answer, then you let that person know, I don't have the answer, but maybe I can find someone who does. But just don't shut that person down, because that's not cool, especially kids. Like,
Right.
I feel like that's the big issue is that youth in this world we're living right now. It's like kids ask questions and people just shut them down. And I feel like that's like the total opposite of what we should do.
People don't want to admit that, like, as an adult, I'm not all powerful, especially to their children. But I think doing so is healthy. Like, if you say, like, hey, bud, like, at the end of the day, I am no better than you. I've just been around longer.
Yeah.
Like, at one point, you're going to get to my place and you're not going to know everything either. I think saying, like, I know all the answers, stop asking questions, you're just stupid, is going to make that kid go, oh, okay, I am stupid. But soon I won't be. And then as soon as they hit adulthood, they're now that awful person too.
Yep.
I know everything, you're stupid. And then it's an awful cycle. Like, it's okay to admit you don't know.
Right. It is.
And even a kid is going to respect the fact that, like, you told them, and they're going to be able to relate to you more too. And relatability is, what we all strive for, really, to be able to get closer to our fellow human. So,
That's awesome. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this
Yeah,
topic. That was awesome,
absolutely.
man.
It's
Yeah,
good.
thank you. Anything else?
I don't think so.
No?
I think we've hit our almost 20-minute
Yeah,
mark, so we're
It's pretty
getting
dang good. I felt like we got a lot accomplished in this episode.
absolutely.
It felt good, yeah. So the key is to set a foundation and don't shut the youth out. That's bad. That's bad.
And it allowed people the freedom to choose as well. Like,
Yeah.
my kids, like, I'm gonna give them all the resources they need to learn about any religion they want.
Yeah.
They can if they want to go to church, we'll all get dressed and go to church.
Mm-hmm.
But if they decide I'm not about this, then they don't have to go. Because
Is
I
it-
think also forcing someone to go has negative effects too. Like, and
No,
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. Like at the end of the day, like that's the worst thing you can do is force something upon your kid and make them do something they don't want to do because
Right.
you.
well, I mean, within reason. Like
Well, yeah.
sometimes kids are
Well,
just not
obviously.
going to know what's good for them. so
Right.
you have to force them. But
But yeah, once
I
they
don't
get to
think
that
church is
certain,
one of those things.
yeah, just kind of give the ball, put it in their court, and be like, hey, as your dad, as your mom, like this is what I recommend. I've lived through that, and this is what I suggest. If you want to listen to me, that'd be great. If you don't, you'll learn, and you'll make a mistake. But at the end of the day, like all I can do is guide you as your father, and like, hey, I hope you will listen to me because I know what's best for you at the end of the day. So yeah, always gotta have that open conversation with your kids. It's very
Absolutely.
important. So yeah. All right, so get into song of the week. You want to talk about the song of the week?
I don't know. It doesn't really fit with this kind of change in direction, I guess.
We should just have a song though. It's always good to have a song. It's a catchy song too. It's a beautiful summer we're having.
Yeah.
It's a good vibe.
So Summertime Magic by Childish Gambino is our song of the week. It has nothing to do with what we just talked about. But
But it's a good song though. It's a good vibe.
yep. There you have it.
It is. So thanks for joining us on another episode of No Answers Yet.
Yep.
Until
Trey.
next time, it's your boy Kiko,
Tyler and the Knobs.
beautiful Tyler, and Terry.
And Terry, of course.
We out.